If I ask you to name the most popular Windows OS ever made, what do you think of? I'll give you about 3 seconds to answer that. Did you say Windows 10? Or Windows XP? Well, you'll be sadly wrong. The community's #1 pick for the best Windows operating system, and likely always will be, is Windows 7. To understand why this OS became the GOAT, we need to see its development history. Originally codenamed Blackcomb and later Vinya, this OS was planned to be the ultimate successor to Windows XP, and the escape to one of the worst versions of Windows of all time. That was Windows Vista. Vista was released to the general public on January 30th, 2007, and it was a disaster. It was bloated, it was slow, and it was widely hated. I'll soon do a whole separate video on that OS soon. But about 3 years later, on October 22nd, 2009, Windows 7 became available to the public and hoped to gain that trust back in the software. Windows 7 was intended to be an upgrade to Windows Vista that addressed and fixed a lot of previous issues that Vista gained. These issues ranged from performance issues like using too much VRAM, which in simple terms is computer runs slow, all the way to the disruptive security alerts, which are more like clicking on a web page and being asked if you're a robot every time you want to do something. Windows 7 was the upgrade to fix all that and bring back the trust to its users. Now, Windows 7 did more than just fix all the issues that Vista ended up causing. It added a large number of new features that were intended to be more focused and compatible with applications and hardware. Now, let's talk about some of those features they added. Starting off with the visual and UI overhaul. There was a new taskbar, which was called the Superbar. It introduced pinning applications, which was the ability to pin applications directly to the taskbar, which helped with getting shortcuts. It added a clear, clean look. It also added the taskbar progress bar for when downloading things. I know, that was a lot of words of saying bar. And lastly, it added a desktop show icon on the very right side of the taskbar called Aero Peak. This made all windows transparent so you can see the desktop. And it was also a quick way to minimize all your windows just by clicking it. In combo with Aero Peak, they added the Aero Snap, which made snapping window applications to the side edges easy for multitasking. And unlike in Windows Vista, window borders and the taskbar had an ugly solid color when using or maximizing programs. But with Windows Aero applied, it looked like a glass translucent UI. Now, moving on from the visuals and UI, Windows 7 ended up fixing a lot of issues I mentioned earlier about Windows Vista. Starting off, they ended up designing Windows 7 to be faster and more efficient, and addressing the sluggish feel and its high resource demands of Vista, particularly through the better management of memory and the CPU, which in turn helped out the stability issues. They addressed and fixed all the bugs that caused crashes, which made gaming and basic application use a better experience. They also ended up adding driver availability, which helped manufacturers with fixing compatibility issues. Lastly, Windows 7 fixed one of the biggest annoyances of them all. They made a less intrusive security system. This was made by introducing a slider allowing users to adjust the frequency of security prompts, making them far less bothersome. So you can now choose if you want to be a bit more risky with your downloads and program running. Now, nothing this good lasts forever. The decline of Windows 7 wasn't due to a lack of quality, but the relentless march of time and the introduction to the newest version, Windows 8. The first major milestone of the end was April 9th, 2013, when the base support ended, requiring everyone to move to the Service Pack 1 just to keep getting updates, which was about a half a year later after Windows 8 became available for purchase. Then by October 2014, Microsoft stopped selling retail copies to the public. They wanted people moving towards Windows 8, an OS that the community largely rejected. On October 31st, 2014, they cut off the OEM license, meaning you could no longer buy a new PC from Dell or HP with Windows 7 Home pre-installed. And then the mainstream support officially died on January 13th, 2015. This meant no more new features, only security patches. The word clung to Windows 7 for about 5 more years, refusing to let go until the final hammer was dropped on January 14th, 2020. That was the end of the extended support. No more security fixes, no more help, and for the millions of people still using it, the golden age was officially over. Now, did you enjoy this video? Let me know in the comments below, and we can discuss what the worst and the best OS Microsoft ever made. Other than that, please make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.